Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, and I'm here with this week's Messages from Your Angels by Astrological sign. If you'd like to learn more about me and my services, please feel free to go to my website at www.terihunter.com. That's TERIHUNTER.com. Are you done? That's Lucky digging in his bed. Okay, little smarty pantsy he is. Okay, guys. Oh my goodness, he's not stopping. Okay, between he and the construction, I'm going to go a little mad today. All right, I'm just going to start off. I want to bring up a couple things. Yesterday was a full moon in Capricorn, and Mars, the planet Mars, officially went retrograde. This week, if you find yourself a little extra stressed out, if people around you are a little snarky, a little cranky, a little persnickety, or a lot, try to be patient and be mindful. This is a very challenging dynamic right now, and these summer months, Saturn's a slow-moving planet. It's going to be retrograde for a while, as is Mars. So the more conscious each person can be, the more easy this influence will be for you. And I want to say this too. The things that are brought up over the next few months are actually going to give birth to a new dynamic come the fall. So kind of think of yourself right now as potentially spring, summer cleaning your lives emotionally, spiritually, and even physically, and definitely mentally. All right, let's jump right into Aries. We're going to do our 4-card spread. The first card represents the foundational position for the week. The second card represents the opportunity and or the obstacle. The third card represents the angel's advice for taking advantage of the opportunity or getting around the obstacle. And the final card is the potential outcome for the week. So Aries, you are officially ruled by Mars. Mars going retrograde may feel like things are slowing down a bit. I have Aurora in the foundational position. Aurora is an angel that says, you're flying high right now, don't descend. Others will soon be inspired by your example. If you find yourself making decisions or taking actions that others don't quite comprehend or understand right now, I think it's time to kind of stay the course with it. It feels as if Aries has a bigger vision of things than people may be able to connect to. So as you trust that, people will start to open up to things. And I want to say this, I've got Bethany in the opportunity, the obstacle. This is a card of self-care. And in the angel's advice, I have Azure saying that your desired outcome will happen in the very near future. So as you're holding the line of the things that you're trying to manifest and create, and people have doubt or fears or whatever the story is, or is there going to be enough money, holding the line of what you know, and that's the self-care, is trusting that inner knowing, is where you're going to actually inspire others. The final card here I have is Serena, which is the angel of abundance and straight up money, really, and resources. And she's saying that whatever resources, money, whatever you're trying to manifest is coming to fruition. It is coming into the physical world, or the project is completing when you're ready to move on to the next phase. Just be patient with yourself as you walk through this coming week. All right, let's go on to Taurus. Our first angel is Serena, the second is Isaiah, the third is Fiona, and the final card is Celeste. Okay, so for my Tauruses, Serena again is physical, abundance, money, resources. If you're having any trepidation, fears, feeling insecure about your future financially, God is saying, relax. We're going to take care of everything. And this is the thing. Part of the thing about this whole dynamic is God doesn't pick and choose who feels abundant or secure and who feels impoverished and insecure. In many ways, that's our choice as the human to go beyond the experience we're having, see how our thoughts are participating in our own creation and our own experience, and then opening up when we are standing in a fear-based, insecure place and thanking God and the angels for giving us the eyes to see something from a different perspective. I have Isaiah in the opportunity or the obstacle, and this is really about giving birth to new ideas and new situations in your life. And I think situations really can't be birthed until they are conceptualized, until you Tauruses on some level can wrap your heads around a new concept, a new idea, a new phase. I have Fiona in the angels' advice saying, now that you've asked God and the angels, be open to receiving their guidance. I literally have two angels sitting in the first and the third position with their arms open, saying that as you put your trust, your faith, and you stand in sort of the outcome, and not the fearful based outcome of swirling the drain and going under, but the opposite, the outcome where all of this is going to play out much better than you can see, then you give Serena and Fiona room to move. In the final position, I have Celeste, and Celeste will talk about a happy move to a new home or a new place of employment, and that may be true for some of you physically, but for me, it is always a card of my mental state, because wherever I am, my beliefs are what they are. You can put me here, sitting in Laguna Beach, you can put me on a beach in Hawaii, you can put me on a mountain in the Himalayas. I have a certain belief system, and I'm going to take my actions on that belief system. So as you open up to Serena and Fiona and Isaiah, asking you to give birth to new ideas about your resources, about your security, about your future, then you will actually start to be able to shift your mind, which will shift your emotional and spiritual body, which will then give God and the angels room to start to bring those manifestations into the physical world. All right, let's go on to our Geminis. All right, Gemini. The first angel is Archangel Gabriel. The second is Layla. The third is Seraphina. And the final card is Oceana. So, Archangel Gabriel talks about having an important life's purpose in communication and the arts and not to let insecurities hold you back. But the first thing I want to say about this is I think she's actually addressing the way you're communicating to yourself, Gemini. You are the sign of the twins. You can weigh both sides of a story, and sometimes you can get analysis paralysis. And I think that it's kind of like Archangel Gabriel is asking you in the form of saying not to be insecure, is that when you're actually weighing all the pros and the cons, there's a sliver of place where you can actually see the pro or the con, somewhere in the middle. I've got Layla here. She's my mobile meditation, and I feel like Spirit is asking you through walking around in nature, in a park, going down to the beach, if you live in the mountains, spending time in trees, anything where you can get your feet on the earth will help you to sort of tone down the noise in your mind. I've got Seraphina in the angel's advice in relation to Layla, talking about a happy change to your family. In this position, it's not really about the addition of a new member. It's about the peace of mind that this mobile meditation offers you. As you contemplate things from a slightly less dramatic, I want to say, or extreme one to the other, and fall somewhere in the middle of the unknown, that maybe there's things that you cannot perceive that Spirit has in the works, then I feel like it will open up for you. I've got Oceana in the final position, and she's saying you're in touch with your truth, and I think that truth comes through the walking meditation that Layla offers you, the epiphany that Seraphina offers you about a new idea about yourself, your life, a new birth. Then you can lovingly start to take action towards the things you want. And I don't think these are leaps. I think these are small steps so that Spirit can then confirm and give you the security you're looking for as you continue to move forward. All right, let's go on to our Cancers. Our first angel is Astera, the second is Sonia, the third is Fiona, and the final card is Grace and Antoinette. All right, my Cancers. Astera says you deserve the best. Reach for the stars with your dreams and desires and don't compromise. Sonia in the Opportunity of the Obstacle says, I'm bringing you a message from your deceased loved ones that I'm safe and happy in heaven. As a collective, I see this more as your spirit guides, as your angels, as those who watch over you. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean my deceased loved ones. I mean people, energies that have influence and the ability to actually move your story forward. Fiona is in the angels' advice saying, now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving their guidance. And in the final position, I have Grace and Antoinette. Grace and Antoinette is a card of compassion. It's a card of making an attempt to see the situation through another perspective. If you find yourself in a tense place with other people or another person, then trying to see things from their perspective. Overall, for my Cancers right here, I think what Spirit is asking you this week is to step into your bigger desire, your bigger dream. And if for some reason you've attempted to move forward in your dream and you think you had an opportunity or opened up an opportunity and it crashed or it didn't happen, it is God and the angels' ways of bringing you a bigger opportunity, something that you cannot perceive right now. And Grace and Antoinette is asking you to have compassion for this part of the journey that when sometimes things don't happen, they are actually answered prayers. Because if we want one thing and we're actually thinking that, oh, this is going to bring me towards what I want, but it's really just this sort of golden noose that's going to be a mirage of what you want and stick you into this place of feeling semi-secure, and yet it's not right. Because the stare is really saying it's the big dream, not the little dream. It's not the dumbed down version of what you want. All right, let's go on to our Leos. Oops. All right, first card is Rosetta, the second is Bethany, the third is Caressa, and the final is Opal. All right, my Leos. Interestingly enough, when I see the cards of children, I usually think of it as the inner child, and yet today you've pulled out both the cards. So I want to offer this idea. For those of you that are of either childbearing years or have children, the focus this week is definitely going to be on them. And I have Rosetta in the foundational position saying that you have a gift for working with young people and a divine purpose that involves helping children, parenting, or teaching. And so I really feel like this is an opportunity for my Leos to be mindful of how their own experience of their daily activities is teaching their children. So if you're driving the car and you're getting a little edgy and you start muttering under your breath, or you actually do, flip somebody off or whatever, your kids sitting in the background, they're watching that. They're paying attention to that, and they're picking up on those subtle cues because, again, I started off this video saying about Saturn being retrograde, Mars going retrograde, a full moon in Capricorn. Saturn rules Capricorn. There's some very challenging energies right now, and there's a lot of people wandering around that aren't aware of these things. They just feel cranky. So I feel like the more my Leos can be mindful, I've got Bethany here saying to take excellent care of yourself, but I don't think this is about your physical taking care. I think you Leos are pretty good about that. This is more about the ripple effect that you have on others and how that ripple effect can create more peace for you, more serenity in a time when things may feel a little choppy and cranky and tense. I have Caressa in the Angels' Advice saying you're at the end of a life cycle. Call upon your angels to comfort and guide you to the next step of happiness. Many of you may be starting to contemplate being empty nesters. There's shifting going on with your children in some way. They're learning from your experience. They're going on to be more independent. They're starting puberty, or they're going on to their adulthood. Because the final card here is Opal saying that God is watching over your children and they are safe here in heaven and earth. And I think that my Leos, you're such a wonderfully childlike sign by nature, very playful, very joyful, very willing to grab the earth's pleasures by the horns and enjoy them. So as your children beckon a new dynamic within you, a new chapter in your own lives, I want you to sort of open up to the idea that this chapter offers as much adventure and excitement as the previous chapters. All right, let's go on to our Virgos. All right, my first angel is Seraphina. The second is Yvonne. The third is Opal, and the final card is Xana. All right, Virgo. Seraphina talks about a happy change to the family. She's holding a baby, and this may mean the addition of a new member of your family. But I also think that as a collective, this is about looking at your family from a different perspective. And it was so funny because as I said that, I just got the idea that some of you may be getting a new pet. But if that's not the case, I just want to offer as a collective that happy families are not about perfect families. They're not about being fabulously flawed. I think there's a little bit about perspective here because Yvonne is the next angel, and for me, she's always a card of vulnerability. And I have Opal, which is the card of children, saying your children are happy on heaven and earth. And the final card is Xana, saying you're being protected. As a collective, I kind of think that this is about Virgos giving themselves permission to take on a childlike dynamic, to kind of color outside the lines, throw the map away, and let your sense of adventure lead you this week. I don't know why I want to put it that way, but I do. I don't know if maybe some of you are going on vacation and you've got all this big plan that you're going to do and you're going to see this and you're going to do that, and you find out, oh my God, well, that was closed and I don't get to do that. Throw caution to the wind, have fun, just do something. I don't know, I feel like I'm taking cards and throwing them up in the air, and everything I thought I was going to do is going to turn out to be something I'm going to do differently. And at the same time, it turns out almost more fun, and I didn't realize it. And then we're sparking a childlike dynamic inside of you that feels like it's been a bit dormant. So it's interesting. I'm feeling pulled to pull a clarification card for you. Okay. I got Caressa again. She was with Leos. Caressa talks about how at the end of a life cycle and that a new chapter awaits you. I want to say that in this dynamic, while many things are shifting for many people, there's astrological things going on where there are fated events coming up, not for everybody, but when we've created a contract for our life's plan and we get to a certain chapter and that leads to another dynamic, it can feel a little disruptive initially. So what I want to offer you for my Virgos is that as you walk through these sort of changes, taking on a childlike dynamic of excitement, of adventure, and throwing a little bit of the rules and the map out might help you a little bit here. And knowing that you are being protected and that whatever feels a little bit choppy right now is only going to lead to a more aligned dynamic with what you want in your life. All right, let's go on to our Libras. All right, Libra. What's up for us this week? The first angel is Astera. The second is Athena. The third is Isaiah. And the final angel is Ray. Okay, so Astera in our foundational position talks about reaching for the stars with our dreams and desires and not compromising. When, compromise is not about the war against others. It's really about telling spirit unabashedly and intentionally about what you want to experience, whether it be a new job, a new home, a new dynamic of any kind, because it is in that strength, that intention, that focus, that sort of, taking no prisoners focus, Spirit really starts to move things around, because in the opportunity of the obstacle, I have Athena saying that it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And then I have Isaiah saying it's time to give birth to new ideas and new situations. I don't think this is about asserting yourself physically in the world to go create a physical change. It's asserting yourself in the inner world. It's what Esther is saying about reaching for your dreams and your desires, and sort of taking the how will I get there, who will it be, I don't know, only so many people get to do this, kind of, it's that thought process that's taking you out of the ring. It's the Libras balancing, trying to figure out sort of how that'll all work out, that's actually going to put a cog in the wheel and slow things down. The final card I have is Ray, and Ray talks about exercise and yoga being essential to your well-being and peace of mind, but she's sitting in a meditative position. She has her power chakra connected to her third eye, with a beam coming up out of the top of her head, flanked by a green stripe and a blue stripe. Green representing the heart chakra, blue representing the throat chakra. As you reach to Spirit and you say, thank you for this fabulous experience. I want to go to Hawaii. You don't know how you're going to get there. You don't know how you're going to get the money. You don't know how you're going to get the time off. But thanks for that great trip. I'm really looking forward to, I can see myself in the palapa. I can see myself with a drink with an umbrella in it. Standing in that energy, Libra, Spirit can do all sorts of things. You could win a trip on a radio call. You could inadvertently win a couple bucks on the lottery. You just can't really get too caught up in the house sometimes. This is really a time in our evolution as humans where we are to kind of sort of break away from the how and go into the how it feels once it's achieved, once it's experienced, once we're sitting in the energy we want. And then Source can just blow the doors open. I think it's kind of time for us humans to get out of our own way. All right, let's go on to Scorpio. First angel is Patience, the second is Francesca, the third is Rochelle, and the final is Maya. All right, my Scorpios, this is really an interesting time for you, because I'm going to kind of jump from the first to the fourth. The Patience card is really about, it's not about being patient for something to happen and waiting fearfully for it. It's about assimilating a situation. It's about watching your own thought process and how your thought process contributes to your experience, because you're here at this moment to gather and learn. And when I say that, it's gathering information and learning how you participate energetically in your own story. Francesca's in the opportunity, the obstacle, saying, what do you desire right now? Visualize it and it will come about. Negativity will block your progress. Scorpio, if your stinger is out and you're so kind of Marsy, Saturny, this full moon crazy energy, and you're pissy, then you're going to create more dynamic that creates pissy. I feel like Spirit is asking you to look at yourself and say, well, hey, I don't have any control over other people, their reactions, how they're going to show up, what they're going to do, but I definitely have control over mine, or the option to have control, the option to have consciousness, even if you can't have control. Because in the angel's advice, I have Rochelle, and Rochelle is my favorite angel. I hate to play favorites, but she says, as I honor and follow the guidance of my heart, my fearless heart, my brave heart, my trusting heart, prosperity is coming to me. And this is not about money. This is about much more than that. It's harmonious wealth. It's thriving and feeling balanced in all the facets of my body, my spiritual body, my mental body, my physical body, my intimate body, my family body, all my bodies. Because in the final position, I have Maya, and Maya is a card of schooling and education, which goes right back to patience. Because as you learn to master your own thoughts and intentions, you become a creator that I don't even think that you can really wrap your head around it. I don't think you, as Scorpios, can right now imagine that you could create the things you want. But when you turn your focus from where it has been hurt, where the stinger has been triggered, and then you move it over here to cut through the BS, frankly, and start to go, okay, if those people, those places, those situations were not aligned to my bigger happiness, then hallelujah that they're gone. because let's open up a door for what is there for my happiness. No prisoners. Take no prisoners. All right, guys, let's go on to Sagittarius. First angel is Astera, second is Aurora, the third is Layla, and the final is Rochelle. All right, my Sages, here you go. You know, this is what I want to say. This week, to me, when I first look at this spread, is not about necessarily jumping up to take action. This is really more about concept, about clarity, about really fleshing out in your mind the things that you want, the relationships you want, the dynamics you want to move forward. I've got Astera saying reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires and not to compromise. That's in the foundational position. Aurora says you're flying high right now. Don't descend. You will inspire others. And I don't think that this is about you taking action to purposely inspire others as much as when we stand bravely in the energy of our own dreams, it gives permission for other people to stand in the energy of their dreams. I have Layla in the Angel's Advice. Angel's Advice in relation to Aurora. I really feel like this week Spirit is asking Sagittarius to contemplate their lives from sort of, I'm seeing this old movie with Bruce Willis. I can't remember the name of it, but he keeps getting buzzed by this red plane, and it's like his older self is coming to visit his younger self to tell him that everything's going to work out great if he just stays the course and trusts his heart. I wish I could remember the name of the movie. Maybe I'll figure it out during the week and tell you, but I think that's what the angels are saying, because I have Rochelle in the final position right now, saying that as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, the things you want will come to you, very much in alignment with what Astera is saying. And at this point, I don't think that you can see how that's going to play out. So you sort of have to trust a bigger knowing of yourself, sort of an older version of yourself that sees the struggle you may be going through right now and knows you're going to get past it and that things are going to be better than you could imagine. And I really do believe that they'll be better than you can imagine. And it may not all come to fruition this week, but this week starts to lay the groundwork, the foundation, the stepping stones towards that. And your participation is the belief, the desire, to be able to wrap yourself around the idea of what you want with such depth that you can feel it in your bones. Okay, let's go on to Capricorn. This was your full moon, Capricorn. And Saturn is your sign. Let's see what the angels have to say for you this week. Bethany is our first angel. Athena is second. Indriel is the third angel. And the final one is Aurora. All right, Capricorn. This is a week of self-care. This is a week, Bethany talks about self-care, giving yourself a massage, getting a manicure, or pedicure. And, that might be great to do, but I think in many ways, if Saturn has been kicking up on you guys, if this full moon has created some disruption or some stops or tension, I think that this is about taking care of yourself and maybe just stepping out of it. I don't know that going to bat right now is going to create any sort of resolution. I think sometimes the best way to neutralize conflict or tension is to step out of the space and give it a little bit of breathing room. I have Athena here. She's saying that it's safe for you to lovingly assert yourself. And then I have Indriel, the light worker, here. I don't think that's about being a light worker. It's about shining your light in a different way. I'm going to have to go about and summarize this. I want to say I have Aurora saying you're flying high right now. Don't descend. That others will be inspired by your example. What I think Capricorn Spirit is saying this week, if indeed, let's say in the workplace, there's some sort of drama, there's some sort of tension, people are afraid somebody's lost their job, as you are able to stay in the moment, stay calm, have a bigger version of things, I think that's where you will inspire others. I think it's not about taking action as much as it's allowing for a bigger version conceptually of things, and then sort of saying, well, wait, let's see how this is going to play out. Maybe it's not as scary or creepy or as bad as we initially thought it would be. Let's just let the dust settle a little bit and see what happens. And I think in that respect, you'll provide a sense of security for those around you that may not be able to grasp a bigger vision of things and are just really entrenched in whatever's, I feel like a fear-based, I almost feel like as if I'm in an office and some people are getting let go and others are fearful they're going to get let go. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. And if somebody is let go, there's a better, bigger version of themselves out there in a new dynamic, and they just can't see that yet. All right, let's go on to Aquarius. First angel is Rochelle, the second is Omega, the third is Astera, and the final card is Bridget. All right, guys. So this is what I want to say. This Mars retrograde is going to be going on for 2 months, till the end of summer, beginning of fall. Saturn retrograde, I think, is 5 months long, so I think it's going to be there for most of the summer as well. I can't remember the dates right now. So what I think Spirit is saying, Rochelle, is as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart, prosperity is coming. Again, that's harmonious wealth in many areas of my body. My physical body, my intimate body, my family body, my financial body, all of that. I have Omega saying victory is coming, and Astera saying to reach for the stars. Now I have Bridget putting a little bit of a cog in the wheel, saying caution is warranted to look deeper. I think for Aquarius that what for this week is that you may find yourself sort of sitting at the edge of the completion of something you've wanted, something that you have been working towards, and yet there is a bit of a stop, and you just want to push past that stop. Like you're just like the 11th hour, and all I need is that one more thing, and I'm done. And it's just kind of stopping things. I don't think you should put too much focus on it right now. I feel like whatever potential pauses, delays, restrictions that you're feeling are actually going to open up to a bigger thing. Something more efficient will happen, or it'll work out better than it was supposed to. And it's kind of important for you not to react, to visualize what it is, the outcome you want. I really think that as humans, we are going through a stretch of being called upon by Spirit to really pay attention to our thoughts and to give life to the idea that those thoughts are the beginning of the manifestations and the creations of our lives. And while a lot of people might argue that point, if you start to really pay attention to the repetitive things that we say to ourselves, you'll see that they start to manifest in the outside world. I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke. Well, money will come and go, come and go, come and go. All right, let's go on to Pisces, our final sign. I might be seeming a little rushed today, but there's a really big construction push across the street, and the noise has been out of this world. Literally. All right, Pisces. What is up for you this week? Yvonne sits in the foundational position, Azure in our opportunity or our obstacle, Ariel is in the angel's advice, and the final card is Layla. Okay, so this week, again, don't want to sound repetitive, but if you're just jumping to your sign, I want to repeat, we had a full moon in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, restrictive planet, slows things down, really oppressive sort of sometimes energy, not fun. We have Saturn going retrograde. We have Mars going retrograde. Mars is the planet of action, now stopped. And Mars does not like to be stopped. He wants to move forward. He wants to continue to take action. So Yvonne is saying, Pisces, be vulnerable to the bigger version of your dream, your desire, what you're trying to birth into this world. As you're sitting here saying your desired outcome will happen in the near future, don't try to force it. Ariel is in the angel's advice. I really believe Ariel is asking you to turn over faithfully, vulnerably, the desire of what you want. It's sort of like You've done everything that you can do in the physical world now, and now you've got to let Spirit take the baton and kind of move things to the next place so that you know what your next move is, if indeed it is you. I've got Layla in the final position saying to spend time in nature. I really think that that's to help you feel less vulnerable to the dark side of the story and more engaged into the light side of the story. Especially sometimes when we've been dealing with people who are, or situations that feel very powerful, David and Goliath kind of dynamic, where you feel like you're the small version, and how will you ever, be triumphant over this big monster of a something. And I don't think that you can always know that. I don't quite remember the full myth of David and Goliath, but it's a biblical story. So you got to know that somewhere David put his faith into Spirit, into God, into the angels to help him defeat his foe. So I think in some respects, Pisces, whatever your foe is this week, and it might be a foe inside your own head, to be honest, as you turn it over to Spirit, and then you start to look for the signs and the omens as you walk through your day, through nature. I mean, you might even be in a subway and see signs, and you're like, really? That's kind of interesting. Pay attention, guys. All right, that's it for me this week. Again, my name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. If you'd like to learn more about me and my services, please feel free to go to my website at www.terihunter.com. And if you'd like to book a if you'd like to book a personal session, feel free to contact me. My phone number is below. You can text or call me. All right, have a great week. I'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.